Hey guys, welcome back. In this one I want to take a quick look at the YCS Dortmund recap that happened over the weekend. I watched it on live stream. It was quite fun. If you're only playing Master Rule, I can only suggest that you check out these events, these big YCS events in the TCG, which are always very fun, especially when they are streamed from Europe. Europe definitely is the better region when it comes to streaming. America sometimes doesn't even stream, and if they do, they have worse commentators and worse event schedule, and are putting less emphasis on the streaming, unfortunately. So this was quite fun and can show us how it looks like in the TCG right now, as this is the first big tournament with the new ban list where Kashtira Rysart was finally banned, and we are seeing that a lot of interesting decks have returned, namely Tearlaments and then also Fluor Reese, which makes sense because Kashtira Rysart was the banish everything monster, and Fluor Reese can play the dimensional shifters, which is quite nice against strategies like Tearlaments. The Unchained that we have talked about before, Dragon Link, is also very weakened by Shifter not being able to access their graveyard. A lot of branded was around, and Manadium in the top cut, which is a strong deck, but not one of the strongest. So it's really interesting that there were a lot of Manadium lists, a pretty combo heavy deck. But let's look at the list that topped the event, and it's so funny. Once again, Rika topped the YCS. It's not once again, but the last European Championship was also topped by Rika, by Jessica Robinson. So yeah, we also have the deck in Master Rule. It's so funny that this keeps topping in tournaments. Makes sense. It's way better here than it is in Master Duel, because in the TCG there is no Maxi. You can see a card that we will get in the future, Triple Tactics Thrust. It's basically everywhere right now. Unfortunately, super expensive. It costs around 70 euros just to have one copy. If your opponent has activated a monster effect this turn, set one normal spell trap directly from your deck except this one, or if your opponent controls a monster, you can add it to your hand instead. The set card cannot be activated this turn. So Triple Tactics Thrust, Triple Tactics Talent. Obviously, they kind of work the same, though your opponent has to activate a monster effect in any phase, not only in the main phase as with the talents. But you can, for example, search the talents. This is why here there is one talents in here, I think. Then you have cards like a Gamasiel, which I think is just for outing a purely Expurli Noir, which this is quite nice. You can search this via your small world. You can just use all your water bridges here to get to your Gamasiel and then just out the Expurli Noir. Droplet is also a card that's run in this format, quite heavy at the moment. Unfortunately, also not the cheapest one. I think 10 euros per copy. But yeah, runs 46 cards, quite interesting. And the extra deck is basically always the same. So every Rika player is basically always running this exact extra deck here. And then we have Sidetrack, Lightning Storm, quite nice. We have a Zombie World against Fluor Reese, because if every Fluor Reese bird is a zombie, then that's pretty bad for their strategy. And you have cards like the Crow and cards like the Rose Whip that you can, I have showed you this in the Rika guide, link is in the description to the right if you want to learn to play the deck, and that you can basically always summon this card on your first turn, thereby blocking your opponent from activating more than one spell or trap, which this is obviously quite strong. So yeah, Rika going first, or winning the first place here at the YCS Dortmund, which is one of the biggest, maybe even the biggest YCS that there is. Second place was taken by Vanquished Soul, definitely a deck type or a deck archetype that was that came around and people were playing it, or people who played it a bit, and then it basically vanished. Vanquished Soul vanished, haha. It vanished, but it was back here in the event. A lot of people were playing it. There were a lot of Vanquished Soul players on the live stream, a deck where you can swap out your monsters for different monsters from the hand and destroy cards in columns, like with the, I think, Magnak deck it was. So yeah, quite fun. You can see a triple pot of prosperity. Basically every deck is running it, though not the Rika deck, because obviously Rika needs its extra deck, so you cannot just banish 6 cards from the extra deck. Rika cannot really do that. This is why that is not in here, but everyone is playing triple pot of prosperity basically, which costs 50 or 40 euros per copy. That's quite a lot, but we will get a cheaper one in November, probably with the rarity collection. So if you are looking forward or if you want to start playing the TCG, then I think it's one of the best times to do it, because this year, the 25th anniversary year, we got a lot of products, and as I said, the November product, the Rarity Collection, will bring a lot of the really important staple cards. Just bring it to the market and you can pick them up for cheap, I think. Obviously, you will probably still pay, I don't know, 10 euros for a pot, but you will be able to grab a pot in super rare, ultra rare, and 3 other rarities in this Rarity Collection. It remains to be seen how short printed this is, or if it is maybe one of the cards that is more available in the pack, but we will have to see. Vanquished Soul was here at the, was it second place? Yeah, this was the finals. And then you can see top 3 and 4 are missing here, but there's the first tier elements list. That's so funny. And you can see they still have Merly at 1. What else? We have 2 Shiren, they only have 1. They still have, I mean, this is from the new list. We lost the Kelbeck, I think, on the 1st of October, if I'm correct here. But you can see they still have the Kelbeck, the Agido. I think in Master Duel, tier element is basically dead. And even if Kashira Arisat or the Kashira Archetype will leave the meta in a few months, I don't think this will come back. But we will have to see. You can see cards like that we are not having at the moment, Trivikama, which can search the field spell. And they are playing card destruction and some dangers, which is so funny. But other than that, you can see not a lot of U cards here that were added that we don't have. They obviously have the Totally Awesome. And they're also playing the heroes, because if you are milling malicious, you can then make another malicious, and together with this Destiny Dangerous, you can make the Beatrice, which is obviously quite strong. So Tier is back in this format, and you can see Thrust is also here, a really nice card that basically enables you to get to every other card in your deck that you can side in. You can see X-Wazy Encore against X-Purely Noir that can auto the card. You have Super Police, makes sense, and you can grab all of that via your triple Tactics Thrust. So that is quite nice. And then we have Gianluca Di Luigi with a Dragon Link that recently has been hit for Chaos Space 2-1, the Bestial Magnamut 2-1, and I think there was something else that I'm not remembering right now, or it was only these 2 cards, I'm not quite sure. But you can see the deck is still strong, still hanging around. I think that makes sense. Just a strong core, just a strong deck, especially in a meta where there is tier elements once again running around. You can obviously use the Bestials and make good use of them, so it makes sense that this is quite strong. We can once again see XYZ Encore against the Purely. Drone Lockbird makes sense because it's a very combo heavy meta at the moment. Then we have Unchained. We have talked about this, the deck that was topping all the tournaments over the last few weeks here. Unchained, I'm really looking forward to these cards. I think artwork wise they are amazing. The Shayama and the Shavara, also the Unchained Soul Lord of Yama. These are basically the 3 cards that will be added and will make a big difference here. I think a lot of people were expecting a better performance from Unchained. We also had, I think, now that I'm remembering it, we also had a top 4 Unchained deck, which is not shown here because the deck list is not out right now. So yeah. Then we have the branded Chimera deck. Also, this is something we will get in the future, the Chimera cards, the new archetype, the Illusionist cards. That's so funny. They cannot be destroyed by battle because they are illusion. As a typing, it says it in the text. Where is it? If this card battles, a monster neither can be destroyed by that battle. Same thing with the Coatl, which is also illusion. So this is quite nice. If you get your Branded Fusion Ash, you then have your Chimera Fusion, which is also a quick play spell, getting you into the new boss monster, you could say, the Chimera, the King of Phantom Beast, which is always treated as Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast, the old card from the early days. And then you have a lot of interruptions in the grave. I think this is a targeting interruption. This is a monster negate in grave or on the field if you have the Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast on the field, which this is always treated as exactly that card. You can see the Bestials are in the siding once again, makes sense because of tier elements. We have another tier list. Tier elements Kashira obviously is a super important card. I think it was recently OCG 2-1. Definitely one of the most important cards. You're definitely playing the King of the Swamp because you need King of the Swamp to access all your fusion monsters. How would you ever make the role colors without the King of the Swamp? So us having this at 1 also is a sign that we won't get tier elements back. We have really tough hits, even though we still have the kit colors. Okay, we still have the kit colors, so we don't need our King of the Swamp for the rule colors. But I think tier element is quite hit up, especially with the Miller's Forbidden. I think they are very important to make the deck work. We also have no terraforming. We have this field spell at 1. They have it at 3. It's crazy. I don't think we will get this back. So don't you worry, guys. Even though TCG and the next Telement list is to follow, even though TCG has it, I don't think we will get it. You can see triple Kaiju in the main deck. Very, very interesting here. Also a polymerization to be able to make a Guardian Chimera that is unaffected and can also use its effect, because remember, it can only use its effect when it's made with a spell card. And then we have Alexander Ban, the next Telement list. He also played, I saw this, Unchained Soul of Shayama, which is nice. This card says, if you don't know it, you can target one card you control, destroy it, then you can destroy one spell trap on the field. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one fiend monster or one face down card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon this card. This is also level 6, which gives you a nice access to your Beatrice, together with, for example, a Malicious. But you can also, for example, if this is in your grave, destroy your own Kaleido Heart, so Kaleido Heart can then be summoned back and activate its spinning and it's dumping a Telement name to the grave effect. It's funny that there's a Winder here, but you have no ultra rare point here because it's an alternative art Winder. I think we will get this in the future, and then you will probably get a pack where you can pull the alternate art Winder here. But yeah, this is quite nice. Tier is back. I don't know if I like that. Another tier list here. You can see, yeah, there's also the Shadol package like we have seen before. He's playing Rescue Ace cards in the side deck. That is interesting. Just to get to the Fire Attacker, I think, because if Fire Attacker is on the field and your opponent draws a card, then you can also draw 2 cards and discard 1. Well, that's quite nice now that I think about it. Draw 2 and then discard. This obviously activates your Telement effects or your Kelbeck or Agido effects, so the idea is quite nice. I like that. And then we have Robert 8 with a Mikanko / Infernoble Knight list. I saw this on the live stream. Very interesting. Mikanko, you can see here's a pot again. Mikanko definitely a deck. Though I have to say, pot is not in the Tier Elements deck, so we might see Pot of Prosperity drop a bit from the price perspective, because if Telement is now one of the most played decks and it's not in there, maybe that will change. Also, Rika, not a deck that plays the pot, as we have talked about. So yeah, we have recently gotten the Mikanko stuff here. Very interesting. Mikanko together with Infernoble Knights. We will get the new Infernoble Knight support, namely the... Oh, it's not in here, by the way. But we will get the new Infernoble Knight support in the future, and then we will also be able to play the deck. Then we have here top 64 something, how do you call this, synchro, because there's revolution synchro together with Manadiums. Okay, it's basically Manadium, but there's also a lot of, it's a really strange Manadium deck, right? Because you have revolution synchro, you have cards like the Rave Soft, which is basically not in here. You run the Kashira Fenrir, which makes sense. This is just a strong card. TCG still has this at 3. Manadium, a really cool combo deck that we will get in the future. This is basically the 4th planet that Visas Starfrost is traveling to, and I think you can see every planet here. We have the Pearl Orion, we have the Rave Soft, we have Reichphobia, and then where is it? Peaceful Planet Calarium. So every planet is here in this Manadium deck. Very, very interesting. Top 64 Lower Strandberg, and yeah, unfortunately this is a deck that is a bit lame to watch on live stream, because if it's combos through, then your opponent can basically not break it, and if it does not combo through, it's also not that interesting, because then it ends on, I don't know, a Baron, for example. Same thing, unfortunately, with the Rika deck. If Rika combos through, and it's always basically the same combo, if not interrupted, then it's just game, and if not, then it can be an interesting game. So yeah, I don't like to watch the combo decks on stream, I have to say, because the mid-range decks are more interesting. We can see another Unchained here, playing the Herald of the Abyss to out the Ex-Pure Li Noir. We can once again see the triple Pot of Prosperity here. Very interesting, very interested in seeing how this meta will develop over the upcoming tournaments. And that's it for YCS Dortmund. We can quickly jump again to the top here and take a look at the how it was basically the top 64 breakdown here. The other interesting thing is that not a lot of like big names in here. Julius Schwarzkopf, who won the event, we have seen before in YCSs. I think Giuseppe is also a known Italian player. Lorenzo also from Italy, I think. Also a lot of Italian players in the top cut. But yeah, this was YCS Dortmund, pretty interesting. And as I already said, if you want to maybe start playing the TCG and you have only played Master Duel, check out one of these events. They are quite fun, and then you can get a sense of what it could look like playing at a locals around you where you live. So yeah, this is just fun. Go check it out. That's it for now. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up and the notification bell, as this helps me out a lot, and we will see each other in the next one.